Who can tell me what this paddle is? It may look very familiar. This is the unreleased, undisclosed Project Boomstik, the paddle which defined the next generation of Selkirk pickleball paddles. And the reason you may not have seen this one is because it was gifted to a select amount of Selkirk's pro players. And we were very fortunate for one of those pro players to send us one of these here in the store. I have never used a paddle so hot. And that's what today's paddle review is going to be about. Not the Project Boomstik unreleased version, but the paddle that was born off the back of this. The paddle which Selkirk has now made or remade its name on. The paddle that everybody is talking about. This is the Selkirk Labs Project Boomstik. This is the wide body. It also comes in a elongated shape as well. For those that don't know, Selkirk have or previously had 3 different shapes of paddles. They've essentially phased that out. They're now going for a wide body like this and then an elongated shape as well. So all of their paddles or their new releases will include the wide body and the elongated, which I am a huge fan of, particularly the long handle wide bodies, which are phenomenally fun to use, really whippy, but I'm going to tell you a bit more about that now. So this is the Selkirk Labs Project Boomstik in a wide body. Boom by name, boom by nature. This paddle is one of the hottest, hardest hitting paddles I've ever seen or ever used on the court. If you thought the Yola Gen 4 paddles were hot, this thing takes it a step further. It's called the Boomstik for a reason, and I'm going to show you why. So some key facts about the Boomstik collection, let's say. So it is quite an expensive paddle. It comes in at £280 here in the UK. Project Labs paddles previously have only had 1 to 2 years, I believe 2 years warranty. Because this is not going to be a mainline release paddle, and what I mean by that is usually Selkirk will test paddles through their Labs collection, iterate on those Labs designs and then release them for general release to the public at a lower price point. They're not going to do that with the Boomstik. It's going to remain a Labs project for life. First initial impressions of using the Project Boomstik. It is one of the poppiest and most powerful paddles I have ever used on the market. From dinking at the net, the ball just seems to launch off the face, which is incredibly fun, particularly when you've got an easy put away, or even if you want to speed the ball up. You don't have to do much to the ball and it kind of just springs off at the opponent. And it makes a thunderous boom sound as well, which I will play some sounds of the ball being struck off the face, because it's one of the funnest parts of the Boomstik, probably the loudest paddle I've ever used on the court. I don't know if you can hear how loud that is. So, number one, this paddle is very, very powerful. They say it's 14% more powerful than the Era paddle. I definitely felt that increase in power. The more noticeable thing I found with the Boomstik is actually the pop of the surface. With the SLK Era, I still needed to put some effort into the ball to lift it over the net. With this, you kind of just put the paddle down and the paddle does most of the work for you. 2 shapes to pick from, the elongated and the wide body. The wide body is better for your sweet spot, a bit more forgiving, greater reset capability, whereas the elongated is actually a bit better when it comes to drive capability, a bit more reach at the net for your flicks and those sorts of things. Not a massive amount in it other than the size of the sweet spot. The wide body has a phenomenally large sweet spot, which I have not found with another Gen 4 paddle just yet. There are a lot of specs to talk about when it comes to the Boomstik, both versions. So I'm just going to chuck them up on the screen right now here. So the first thing that's going to leap off the page for you is actually the high static weight. The wide body in particular ranges from about 8 ounces to about 8.4 ounces. The one we've got in front of us here is about 8.3 ounces, and it definitely feels heavier in the hand. So if having a lower static weight is important to you, then the Boomstik may not be the option for you. The elongated is a fraction lighter at 8 to 8.3. However, with the MOI tuning system, it can come in above that and below that as well. In terms of swing weight, that's another thing that I found the wide body isn't as good at. So going from the SLK era wide body, which felt really fast to move through the air, the Boomstik with the MOI tuning system on the side is slower. So it does take a bit of getting used to. However, the power output is like nothing I've ever felt before. Oh God, it's a cannon. It absolutely rips. In terms of width and length, the elongated version, you're looking at 16.5 inches in length and then 7.45 inches in width with a 5.8 inch handle. Whereas the wide body, you're looking about 16 inches in length, 8 inches in width with a 5.6 inch handle, which I would say is amazing to be able to have on a paddle. A 5.6 inch handle is actually one of my favorite parts of the Boomstik because you still get a load of leverage in your ground strokes and you can still get a load of whip on your put away shots as well. And enough space to put 2 hands on the back of the paddle face, with the benefit of having a really wide body face as well. So let's get into some of the interior specs of the paddle. So what makes this paddle so phenomenally powerful is the combination of foams. So on the inner core of the paddle, you have the famous Selkirk boom core, which makes that noise essentially. And then around the sides, you've got a lower density EVA foam. This combination of a boom core and also EVA foam really expands the sweet spot, making the paddle very consistent and also increasing that explosive power. Another amazing part of the Boomstik is actually the brand new Infinigrit surface. They finally put Infinigrit on something like the Boomstik, which straight out the box feels incredibly gritty. Selkirk claim it lasts 3 times longer than carbon fiber. We will find out over time. It still lasts. I've used this paddle quite a bit and it's still really, really gritty on the surface. So far, so good. But we'll report back and let you know how it goes. So with the Infinigrit surface, it is one of the grittier surfaces on the market, and you're going to be maxing out around 2,000 RPMs when it comes to spin potential. So one of the benefits of that is you're going to get a load of top spin, a load of back spin. So if you like to hit your ground strokes, a lot more top spin, the Boomstik's a great option for you. And something you've probably noticed, particularly if you play against someone, is this reflective surface. You can use it to blind people as you're playing with it. Jokes aside, it's called the MOI Tuning System, the moment of inertia tuning system. They're essentially just static weights that sit on the side of the paddle to expand the sweet spot. So instead of needing lead weights to tape it up, Selkirk have gone ahead and done it for you. Do not do what I did when I first got the Boomstik. I thought the line on the side, I don't know if you can see that, meant you could slide the weights up and down as to where you want it and fix them back in place. It does not mean that at all. So wherever they are when you first get them is kind of where they have to stay. If you start taking them off, you can compromise the edge guard. So something to think about with the Boomstik. There are rumours that they will be releasing the Boomstik without the MOI tuning system. Not heard anything other than a Reddit feed. However, we will see. Hopefully they do, because I like to weight it in different places as to where the MOI tuning system is. However, if you've never used weights before and they've put them on there for you, you instantly feel the benefit. This paddle is one of the best Gen 4 paddles in terms of resets and forgiveness I've felt on the court. It didn't feel overly powerful that I couldn't return the balls or drop them into the kitchen. It just felt good enough to be able to do that, get to the kitchen and then put the ball away with ease. So I would say the wide body gets a big tick from me. So in one sentence, I'm going to say this paddle is fantastic. It is a step in a really good direction for Selkirk. I absolutely loved the Era paddle. but going to this paddle, all I can say is it's fun. So if you're a player in the market looking for a new power paddle, there are some distinct differences which I would definitely weigh up first. Number one is, if you're a regular competitor, maybe you're a 4.0 onwards, 4.5, looking to compete, potentially for prize money, or you're looking to really push your duper through the ranks, the Boomstik could be a really good option for you, particularly if you have all the shots in your arsenal already. However, if you're a newer player, maybe you're a 3.0 to 4.0 sort of level, and you're looking for a new power paddle or an upgrade from your Gen 2 paddle, I would have a look at the SLK Era, because it's a really nice introductory power paddle. It gives you a lot of the stuff that the Boomstik does, just not the intense pop off the surface and also the earth-shaking power that the Boomstik offers. So some distinct differences there. 3.0 to 4.0, 4.0 I would say probably 4.5 plus. You're going to get the most out of each of these paddles at those levels. Don't get me wrong, you can still use this if you're a 4.0, 5.0 player. Jack Sock was using this bad boy a few weeks ago. It's still a phenomenally good paddle. I'm just saying it's easier to get a hold of if you're at those levels, whereas the Boomstik really does only cater if you've got all the shots in your arsenal and you're looking to push it to the next level. So we're going to jump on the court and see how both the official release Widebody Boomstik performs and the prototype, and check out the main differences in them both. I can tell you straight away, this one is one of the hardest hitting paddles ever made. Incredibly hard to control and a tiny sweet spot. This one is really nice to control, still loads of pop, but let's see what the main difference is on the court. First, we're going to try out the unreleased version. I cannot control this thing. It's so hard. Verdicts for this Boomstik: one of the hardest paddles I've ever used. You cannot feel the sweet spot. Let's check out the actual Boomstik and see how it compares to this. Incredibly hard hitting, by the way. I don't think this paddle was ever legal, because it was hotter than the mod, anything like that. It's probably one of the hardest hitting paddles I've ever tried. But this paddle was obviously what the new official release Boomstik was kind of based on. So let's try out the official release Widebody Boomstik. Oh, it grips the ball really well. And now we're going to try some at the net volleys, punch volleys, and see how it performs. Usually the ball kind of sucks in, whereas on these I find it just pops off. So I'm going to show you that now. It's really loud when you hit the ball. God, it's a cannon. It absolutely rips. So to summarize, this paddle was really nice on everything from drives, dinks, resets. I found third shot drops a little bit more difficult to tone in, particularly going from a softer paddle to a full foam core paddle with the amount of pop and power this has got. However, dinks feel really nice. You can get a load of rip and topspin on them. Drives feel phenomenally good, really effortless. It's got a big thumbs up from me. This is a really fun paddle to play with. And now I know why there is so much hype over the Boomstik. Please subscribe, like, do what you need to do. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Lloyd from the Pickleball Store. The Boomstik is available to order in the UK at thepickleballstore.co.uk. I'm going to put the link down below if you're interested in the wide body or the elongated. If you have any questions at all, we have a full team who can help. Phone lines, anything you need, just reach out to us through any of the means. Thank you once again. Have a great day.